Oh, Chris Brown is losing it again, y'all. Looks like he just can't handle the fact that Karrueche has officially moved on, and not just with anybody, but with Deion Primetime Sanders. Who? The drama. Ever since pics of Karrueche and Deion looking all cozy popped up, the streets have been talking, and let's just say Chris is not taking it well. So word on the block is Karrueche Tran and Deion Sanders got the blogs on fire after blogger Dumois spilled that they were spotted holding hands at Nick and Steph's restaurant. Now, for those who might not know, Karrueche is that girl, an Emmy-winning actress, model, and TV host. We do, right? Yes, I do. Well, I get one and then everyone else has to order theirs. Oh, really? She's best known for playing Vivian Johnson on The Bay, which even won her a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress. And as for Deion Sanders, well, he's not just any former football player, he's a whole legend and the current head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. Back in his playing days, he was a star cornerback for the Florida State Seminoles. Now, according to Media Takeout, these two were introduced by Deion's co-host Rosie Diaz, who also happens to be tight with Karrueche. Neither of them has said a word about the dating rumors yet, but folks are convinced it's more than just a friendship. And let's talk about that age gap. Karrueche is 36 and Deion is 57. That's over 20 years. A lot of people feel a way about it. And to make things even spicier, some fans think Deion isn't exactly the best relationship guy. I mean, he's got 5 kids by 2 different women, and neither of those relationships worked out. But the real tea? Chris Brown is out here spiraling over this. Allegedly, he's losing his mind because he finally realized he fumbled a good one, and there's no getting her back. Mind you, he and Karrueche broke up almost a decade ago because he couldn't keep it in his pants. He kept embarrassing her, playing in her face, and just making her look crazy. And now, tables have turned and he's the one stuck in his feelings. Other artists even use Karrueche's name to poke at him because they know it gets under his skin. Remember that little rap beef Chris and Quavo had last year? Chris fired first on his song Freak from his 11/11 album, rapping, "My old bees ain't gonna make a sequel, sipping that 1942, cause I don't do no quote." He was clearly salty about Quavo and Karrueche linking up, and it was obvious he was still pressed. But Quavo wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back hard on his diss track Tender, dragging Chris for his past, and basically calling him a cokehead. He even bragged about Karrueche moving on, rapping, "You did the B wrong, now the B gone. She posted with a thug, call the B phone, she won't come home. Don't beat her up, it must be the need to cross out your plug." That was brutal. And let's be real, Quavo didn't lie. Around the time Karrueche and Chris finally called it quits for good, there were heavy rumors about Chris putting his hands on her on top of all the other nonsense he put her through. For some background, Karrueche and Chris first got together in 2011 after meeting at one of her styling gigs. They had already been friends for a minute, but they kept their relationship low-key at first, since Chris was still in the middle of cleaning up his 2009 scandal with Rihanna. Yeah, that one, when he put hands on her and left her bruised up. Anyway, by March of that year, Karrueche was officially on his arm at every event, standing by his side while he pushed his album FAME. Everything was cool between Chris and Karrueche until 2012. Then Rihanna popped back into the picture, and things got messy real quick. In February, they dropped some spicy remixes. Rihanna hopped on Chris's Turn Up the Music, and he returned the favor on her Birthday Cake remix. But the real tea was that Chris was spotted at Rihanna's 24th birthday party that same month, and folks started speculating that they were rekindling their old flame. Then, the drama really kicked off. Rihanna and Karrueche found themselves in a Twitter back and forth, with Ree calling Karrueche rice cakes, a not-so-subtle jab that referenced birthday cake. A few weeks later, things got even wilder when Chris got into that infamous NYC club fight with Drake. This was during Nayo's manager's birthday celebration, and let's just say bottles were flying. Chris ended up with a big gash on his chin, and multiple people got hurt bad enough to need hospital treatment. After all that, Chris went and threw shade at Rihanna on a remix of Kanye's Way Too Cold, rapping, "Dope with my old BH, it's like a bad fur, every industry done had heard y'all the shade." Rihanna caught that real quick and unfollowed him on Twitter, but Chris tried to backtrack like, "I ain't say no names, so if you feel some type of way, that's on you." Now, while Chris was out here making a fool of himself, he was still with Karrueche, and oh, it got worse. In August 2012, Rihanna did that emotional sit-down with Oprah, talking about how she still loved Chris and how they rebuilt their friendship. Where does your relationship with him stand today? You know, you can't believe what you read. What do you want the world to know about your relationship with them? We've been working on our friendship again, and now we're very, very close friends. We built a trust again, and that's it. Like, we love each other, and we probably always will. And that's not anything that we're gonna try to change. It's not something you could shut off if you've ever been in love. But at this point, Karrueche was seeing the writing on the wall. She even tweeted, "If you don't have trust, you don't have anything."
It's pretty gangster, right? Yeah, you try it.
Okay. Sometimes I keep my fingers and I'm leaning on my therapist. Then, the moment that sealed the deal, Chris kissed Rihanna on live TV at the 2012 MTV VMA in front of everybody. Mind you, he was still with Karrueche. A month later, Rihanna was publicly supporting him on Twitter, even calling him baby when he went to court for failing a test. From then on, Chris and Rihanna were everywhere together, looking real cozy, while Karrueche was left looking like a clown. And as if that wasn't humiliating enough, Chris was the one who ended things with Karrueche. He hit her with that, "I love you, but I don't want to see you hurt over my friendship with Rihanna" speech. But let's be real, he wasn't trying to take Riri seriously either. By 2013, he and Rihanna were done. And guess what? Within a month, Chris and Karrueche were back together and living under the same roof. It was a disaster waiting to happen. And sure enough, it all came crashing down when Chris went to rehab and ended up hooking up with a staff member. That little stunt got him thrown back in jail, and Karrueche finally left him. The plot twist, she couldn't stay away. By July 2014, she was back supporting him in court. And later that year, she even got real emotional about the whole love triangle mess during her sit-down with Kiki Karma on Just Kiki. Just keeping a level head and positivity. I've never dated a celebrity before, so it was very new to me. Paparazzi and all that. And then even the situation with Rihanna, you know, the reason why people tuned into this so much is because it's relatable. I have girlfriends, I have family who's gone through the same situation. It's the case of the ex. Yeah, we all go through invariable things, something, yes. But, however, thank you. In this case, my boyfriend is a celebrity whose ex-girlfriend is in an even bigger skin, and I'm saying, yeah. So, not only am I fighting a battle with her, I'm fighting a battle with her 14 million fans or however else. So imagine how that feels for me when I gotta get on Twitter and I gotta see a whole bunch of people. Later that year, Karrueche and Chris Brown got back together, even rocking matching Halloween costumes in October. But by November, Chris was already making the scene. Because, you know, like, they want to be a part of that circle. So, really are your friends, and it's how you leave that. He went off on the hosts of The Real after they questioned Karrueche's decision to stay with him. He called Adrian Balin a trout-mouthed ass and threw shade at Tamar Braxton, calling her the ugly sister. She's good, yeah, she's not here, but she's good. It's amazing, man. Christmas is coming up. Around this time, Chris also told Hot 97 that he was locked in with Karrueche for life and even planned to marry her one day. So you can imagine how shocked fans were when he suddenly announced their breakup at Power 106's Kali Christmas concert. He bluntly told the crowd, "I'm single." Them. Fans were confused. Wasn't she just the love of his life? So, what happened? Well, Chris later claimed on Instagram that he broke things off because Karrueche wasn't loyal to him while he was locked up. He said, "I was locked up for damn near 4 months and only got one visit from you while you were out hosting parties, taking secret trips to Toronto and going on dates with Drake." Of course, both Drake and Karrueche denied this, but people quickly pointed out the hypocrisy. Chris had done the same thing to Karrueche with Rihanna, and now he couldn't handle a taste of his own medicine. Despite all the drama, Karrueche and Chris got back together again. But little did she know she was about to experience the most heartbreaking and embarrassing moment of her life. Chris announced on Instagram that he had a daughter, Royalty, with model Nia Guzman. And guess what? Karrueche found out the same way the rest of us did on Instagram. That was the final straw. She ended things for good, tweeting, "Listen, one can only take so much. Best of luck to Chris and his family. No baby drama for me." Karrueche moved on, focused on her career and casually dated. But Chris, he couldn't let go. Every time she was spotted with a new man, he would start drama. In 2015, he told Ryan Seacrest he was accepting his mistakes and taking responsibility. But that didn't last long. He started attacking Karrueche for speaking about their relationship in interviews. And she clapped back, "I'm not speaking on you or bashing you like I easily could. Don't be mad at me because our relationship ended due to your lack of loyalty. You know what's weak? You forcing yourself into my car, my broken window, blowing up my phone, and trying to shower me with gifts. Man the f*** up and change the bullshit in your life like I've told you several times." Chris then tried to play it cool, responding, "I'm eternally thankful for you being part of my life. I've learned so much from you. I wish you nothing but happiness." Yeah, that didn't last. Chris started stalking Karrueche, demanding she return the diamond rings he had gifted her. When she refused, he allegedly started threatening her, saying he'd make her life hell and even harm her and her loved ones. In 2015, Karrueche filed for a restraining order, telling the court that Chris had threatened to kill her if he couldn't have her. She also revealed that years prior, he had punched her in the stomach twice and pushed her down the stairs. Fast forward to 2023, and Chris was still lurking. The moment the 5-year restraining order expired, he was right back in her comments, liking her pictures. When Karrueche posted stunning photos from a goal party, Chris was right there, thirsting after her. And let's not forget that petty stunt he pulled during his beef with Quavo, which we covered earlier. Oh, and get this, Chris even made a song called Residuals, which fans believe is about Karrueche. Every time he performs it, he wears or ties a red bandana to the mic, something fans think is a nod to the welcome home from jail party Karrueche threw for him in 2014, where she blindfolded him with a red bandana. Now, people are saying Chris might have another meltdown over Karrueche's new man. So far, people are side-eyeing this relationship and saying that it shouldn't be a thing. People online are writing stuff like, "This level of foolish desperation is absolutely absurd. Coach Prime knows Sir Hell she's his daughter age no see." And another person said, "Deion, please leave them little girls alone. Don't look stupid like the rest of these old men." But what do you all think about this relationship? Also, is Chris doing too much? Drop your thoughts below and make sure to check out this next video.